Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So in today's video we're going to be going over the dangerous heat as the thumbnail suggests. So anyways, let's get into this video. Now an important thing to note is, please watch to the end of this video because there's going to be some very important things said in this video. But anyways, let's take a look at the risk of severe weather, especially over the plains today here, going from Minnesota all the way into southern portions of Montana there. And also we do need to take a look at the tornado threat here, also going from Minnesota to Montana here today. So anyways, let's look at the wind threat as well, and 15% chance going from Montana to Minnesota also. So if you live in those areas, be mindful of this. The hail threat here, 15% hatch threat here for portions of Montana there. Elsewhere, just a regular 15% threat. If I do need to, I may go live today. So anyways, let's look at tomorrow's severe weather threat, and you can see the slight risk of severe weather extending from portions of Michigan here down into portions of Nebraska here. And the tornado threat will be 5% for areas in Wisconsin and portions of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Then a 2% threat going from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan into Minnesota here. So anyways, let's look at the wind threat, and it's a very broad wind threat from Nebraska all the way up into portions of Michigan here. Now, let's look at the hail threat here. There's going to be a hail threat for portions of the Rocky Mountain region here in Wyoming and Colorado. Anyways, thank you to Weatherwise for this thing, their products here. Now let's take a look at what's going on around the nation. We do actually have some extreme heat warnings here. So some extreme heat warnings for portions of the south and portions of the east here. Then we do actually have some strong storms in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. So anyways, I do know that there was a water spout supposedly going towards Jacksonville at some point. I'm not sure if there actually was a water spout or if it was just like radar indicator or something, but anyways, let's take a look at the Central Pacific. Now, there is a 20% chance of development within the next 7 days here. So, next 7 days, potential for tropical development, and that's in the Central Pacific Basin. Now, let's look at the Weather Prediction Center. You can see 8 a.m. Eastern today till 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. We have the severe weather threat in the plains here, as well as the flash flooding threat in the northern plains, as well as the flash flooding threat in the southeast, and one in the desert southwest as well. Now, moving on to 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow till 8 a.m. Eastern on the 24th here, we do actually have a risk of severe weather in the plains here, as you can see. So we also have a risk of flash flooding for areas in the plains and the western Great Lakes region. So anyways, let's see. Climate Prediction Center 6 to 10 day outlook. We do have a outlook from July 27th through the 31st, and let's see, it goes all the way from the west coast to the east coast pretty much. On the west coast, like directly on the coast here, we'll be hanging on to some cooler weather here. The cold doesn't look to be really making any advances in the west though, as when we go over here to the precipitation outlook, we see the north is more wet, as well as portions of the south here, like the New Orleans area, but portions of the desert southwest are not so wet. They are actually going to be drier, but like I was saying, the cold doesn't look to be making any advances, as it's pushed mainly around the Seattle area here, and as well as the heat making advances in the west here. But in the east, we do see the cold shifting further to the south here. And so, maybe that's a sign. I don't know. Maybe that might be lead to colder temperatures. I'm not sure. I don't really know if there's any real accurate stuff that far out. But anyways, the precipitation outlook. This is from July 29th through August 4th, I should mention. So the northern plains here into the Pacific Northwest should be wetter than normal, but portions of the Northeast, especially along the Great Lakes into like Vermont, New Hampshire area, should be a little bit drier. Same thing goes for the desert Southwest into Nevada here. And then for the Southeast from Florida all the way to around the New Orleans area, it could be above average precipitation wise. Now, looking at the U.S. hazards outlook, you'll see that in the east there is a bunch of red orange bubbles here. That is actually heat, a risk of extreme heat. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. But one more thing before you go. Whoops, I accidentally left that on. One more thing before you go. In the EpicPen, you can get the free version for pen, eraser, highlighter, screenshot tool, and 16 colors. But if you pay for the $2 a month, you can get fading ink, highlighted cursor, shapes tools, text tool, whiteboard, and blackboard, 24 colors. And easy license manage it and great value. So anyways, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.